Hey, Ronnie Dale, Four Wheeling Australia. We have a special episode of Modified. Well, two reasons why it's special. Three reasons. One, we're in Arizona. Two, we have this really cool Jeep behind me. And three, the special guest, Brad.
Ronnie.
How are you, mates?
Great, man. So good to meet you.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is Brad from Trailrecon, big YouTuber from the States. You have a really cool rig here. I love the wrap on it.
Thank you.
You got a map and everything here.
Yeah, it's the Mojave Preserve. The wrap is brand new. We had it done about 4 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just give us the specs on the vehicle and.
Sure. This is a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. It's got the 3.6 liter motor, automatic, and she's far from stock anymore.
Yeah, I can see that. we just got to get into this because there's so much to cover.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about your channel at the end too.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Stay tuned, guys. Straight into bar work. You guys call these bumpers, right?
We do.
This is a steel bumper.
Yeah, steel stubby bumper. That's a Poison Spider. It's a bruiser bumper. And it's just got the little stubby bumper. You know, they got the ones with the big ones on there. I didn't want that, but this works perfect for me. So
with you guys having steel bumpers, or we call them bull bars, do you more have them for on the trails, like in case you hit a rock or something? Or do you have them for protection from animal strikes as well?
You know, for where we wheel, it's not so much for animal protection, but mostly from rocks and tipping and that kind of stuff. And it's just nice, you know, for a long time, I was running plastic bumpers with just a little winch on here, and it was just getting tore up and beat up. And so having something that's stubby that gives me some more tire clearance has been helpful. So
I don't think there's much you can't climb with this.
Yeah, it does pretty good.
That's pretty cool. No bash plates underneath?
No, there is an optional skid plate that goes underneath, but I didn't install it. I mean, weight is a factor on this vehicle, and so the more steel you add, the heavier it gets. So
that's a decent diff guard there. Or was that?
Yeah, that's an aftermarket Poison Spider diff cover. The one that comes stock on the Wrangler is pretty thin when you compare to that one. It makes a big difference. You can see it's taking a little bit of a beating. So.
Yeah. So well used Jeep, this one. Got a few marks here too.
Yeah, you know,
getting close to things.
We get out and play. You know, it's kind of a hybrid for me. You know, we do the long trips, but I like to get out on the rocks and play a little bit. So we do a little bit of both.
Very nice. That was the right car for it.
Yeah.
Smitty built winch. How many pounds is this one?
This is a 9,500 pound winch, and you know, I bought this on a budget, and it's a pretty inexpensive winch, and I've had it for about 4 years, and it's worked really well. I've used it for myself quite a few times, but I'm mostly using it for other people.
Yeah.
It's a little long in the tooth. I think it might be time for an upgrade. I've had some electrical shorts and stuff that I need to sort out, but it's worked when I needed it, which is good. So.
Yeah, okay. So like your solenoids and stuff.
Yeah.
Factor 55 hooks.
Yeah, I like the Factor 55. I mean, it just looks good. Aesthetics matter, but it's just good, solid stuff. They test their stuff pretty well. Yeah.
Do you recover off these?
Yeah. I usually use the soft shackles, and those fit in there pretty well if I need them.
Oh, nice rounded edges too.
Yeah.
So these are rated then to pull off. So how they mounted it to the vehicle, because there's a lot of bull bars in Australia. When people pull off the bull bar, the whole bull bar comes off.
Oh yeah, no. No, these are pretty solid. They're welded in, and I bolted in behind with an extra plate.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I just put these on 2 weeks ago, and I had the stock ones on here forever, and believe it or not, the stock ones on the Rubicon version worked really well, but man, they were rusted and banged up.
Okay.
I think they're going to be like some artwork in my garage because they're pretty legit. So these are all clean, so it looks like I've never taken it off road, but these are brand new. So
nice. This is meant for playing, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you go steel, and that way it holds up well. So
yeah. Let's just talk about your fenders here.
Yeah, so these are the Poison Spider aluminum fenders. And these are their standard width. They have a narrow and a wide width, and I went with the standard just because I give a little protection from the mud and stuff. It doesn't do great, but it's better than having the narrow version. But still, when I'm leaning over and there's a boulder or a tree, it gives me that little extra clearance.
Yeah.
But they're aluminum, so I saved a little weight there, which is nice.
The rear bumper.
Yeah, so it's again steel bumper here in the back, and it's also the Poison Spider's bruiser bumper. It's given me a lot of extra clearance. You can see that it's angled up, but
Yes.
I've still hit it a few times here and there.
It's loads of clearance.
Yeah, but it's it's made a big difference because sometimes you got to back up on the rocks and you got to have that extra clearance. So it's good. I still got to get these lights installed in there. I haven't done that. A little procrastination on my part.
Oh, yeah, right, the holes here.
Yeah.
Saving light, mate.
Yeah, one of these days I'm finally so many projects. One of these days I'm going to get around to it.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Like rock lights sort of shining down?
Yeah, because I've got the reverse lights up top, so I think I'll just do something that kind of gives me some down clearance or whatever.
Do you have a rear camera?
No. But
Is it something you want to get?
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea, but I've been pretty good about my inside, which I'm sure we'll look at later, keeping it clearance, so I can still see past this big old tire, so it's not bad. I would like to have a forward camera, though, for looking over. That wouldn't be a bad idea. So,
yeah, that would be cool. So you're not looking at sky all the time?
Right, yeah, especially in Moab, when you're going up and over, yeah.
This tire, it's a 37?
37.
How do you manage to fit this size on the back here?
Yeah, so I installed, that's a TerraFlex heavy-duty tire hinge. So you basically take the old hinge off and put this on there, and it does a great job. I actually, truth be told, I ran this tire on the stock hinge for about 2 months, and it was starting to get a little flimsy. So this is a must upgrade if you're gonna throw a bigger tire on the back of a Jeep. But now it's really solid, and the internal part you can adjust it inside and out. If you're doing like a 12.5 or 13.5, so you can move it. No wobble at all on this thing. It's pretty nice.
So would you say from a 35 and up you need this?
Yeah, I would say definitely if you're gonna go a 35, it's time to upgrade your hinge.
How big could you go?
I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I don't know if you could do a 40. I think 37 might be it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, people do it. So.
Dirty gear bag or rubbish bag?
Yeah, if we use this for trash and firewood and all that, so throw it in there.
Another poisonous spider diff guard on the rear.
Yeah, and you can see that I've backed into it a few times. And my so
custom exhaust now.
Well, it is. So we did a trail just last month, and it was called Die Trying was the name of the trail. And it was 1.6 miles, and it took us 6 hours to do it. It was the most extreme trail I've ever been on, and that muffler just took a beating on that trail. So I think I'm probably going to cut that off and get something a little more high clearance here soon.
Wow, must be a tough trail if you've done that sort.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Roof rack, that thing up here.
Yeah,
that's
so this
Rhino rack?
It's a Rhino rack backbone system, and you have to drill into the top, but then inside, because the Jeep, we can take the top off.
Yeah.
Well, what I like about this is I can still take the top off with the roof rack attached, so I can still do the top off thing with the Jeep, which is nice.
The front part, you mean?
Yeah, well, you can take these off, but then you can take the whole rear off just like you can normally. Oh. But the way they distribute the weight is internally. There's a frame in here that goes all the way around, and it mounts down below. So this is all fiberglass. If you put a roof rack up here on the fiberglass, you'll just crack it. But they have a nice internal system which allows you to put all the weight up there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It looks a lot better than the other ones. They have that bar on the outside.
Yeah.
And they get caught in trees.
Yeah, they get caught in trees, and yeah, for sure. I like the slim look of this, so it's nice.
Nice compact spade or shovel you got here. What type is that?
That's a Crazy Beaver. I haven't used it much, but it's always good to have a shovel, with you. But I haven't used that one a whole lot. Thankfully, I'm not getting stuck that much.
Well, after all those Starbucks coffees this morning, I may need it over there.
Right, me too. Yeah.
Rome Adventure Co. Is that the brand of that?
Yeah, so they're a new tent company, but this is their prototype hard shell. And I had old Smittybilt fold-out tent that I had for a long time, but I wanted something that was a little sleeker and nice. And you can see that this one sits in from the roof rack, so when I'm leaning over, I've got more clearance because the other one came way out. Plus, it's just a little more streamlined. But what's really nice is, it takes me 2 minutes to open it up or close it up, and it's perfect. I love it.
So go straight up.
Go straight up. Yeah. There's no overhang on the sides, and you can get in from any side of the tent. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Do you know the weight on it?
I think it's about 160 pounds. So I added a little weight with this one, and you kind of feel it when you're, from side to side. But it's a compromise. I wanted something that was easier to set up and down.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. No more cover to deal with and all that stuff. So it's nice.
That's probably the best thing about those hard shells.
Yeah.
No cover to deal with.
Yeah. Because you take those things off after you've been on the trail, and if it was muddy or
covered in
dusty,
it.
you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can close all your bedding in there as well?
Yeah, all my bedding, pillow, everything's in there now, and actually I have quite a few blankets in there right now because it's supposed to be pretty cold this weekend. So yeah.
That's the best part because you can close it with everything in it.
Yeah.
I got a similar one. It's a different brand, but on a trailer. So
Yeah. And what's cool is if you wanted to, you could get the mattress out and everything, and you could actually use it for storage if you needed to, which is kind of nice. Yeah.
You got a chair.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Yeah, chair when you can. Just sit right here. Lights and comms. We'll start with your lights, and there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of lights, but we like to go out in the desert and do a lot of night runs, and sometimes you got to step on the gas, so you want to be able to see out there. You're always camping at night, so.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I guess we can start with the headlights. So these are the KC Gravity Pros, and they're great for driving, but you can see all the way around when you turn the brights on. It's like having just a massive floodlight. So it's really nice just by themselves having those. And then on the bumper, I swapped out the stock fog lights for some little driving lights, and so those still work off the fogs, and they're DOT approved, so we can use those on the road. It's no worries.
Okay, so you do have to worry about that.
Yeah, because you don't want to blind folks, but you want to make sure you're legal when you do that. The Pro 6 and with the amber covers on there, and I'm a big fan of the amber when you're out in the fog. Yeah, and the dust. Dust. We're in the desert a lot, and so sometimes I'll just shut everything off and just run the ambers if it's that bad, because you don't get that reflection from.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I know, right?
Torben's shaking his head behind there. He's like, you're never behind us.
Right.
But I've seen, when I look at the boys' footage and they're behind me, they can't see anything in the dust.
Yeah.
So he actually asked me to ask you if you're scared of the dark.
I'm not scared of the dark, but it's nice to be able to see where you're going, right?
Yeah.
So that's the KC Gravity Pro 6 light bar.
That's a serious lineup.
It is a great light bar. I mean, honestly, you could just use that by itself. I mean, the other guys put the pillar lights down here, and you just don't need it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and the 4 inside lights are a spot beam, and then the 2 on the edge are a flood beam. And so you've got just a great mix right there. And so I'm not running any spots down below because what I've got up there just shines out so far.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I guess your hood is sort of going down that way. Do you get much reflection coming back?
No, not at all because it's up high. I mean, if you were running the A-pillars, you get that, because I used to run those, and I got a lot of hood reflection, and that's why I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, okay, because these are more like a directed.
Yeah.
It's not like a bar just going woof.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
And those 4 in the front just go straight over, so it's really good. 2 little scene lights on the side, those are from KC, and those are just for camping. And then the rear, it's a multi-function light bar, which is really cool. So you can incorporate it into your brake lights. It's got backup light on there, a white backup light. But what's really cool is it's got
red light in there for brakes as well.
Yeah. And it's got amber light. So that's great for like the trip we just did up here with 10 folks. And again, it was dusty like that, and people could see me forever, because the amber just shined right through. And then it's got a flashing amber, which is nice. So if you're coming up on an obstacle, you can kick that on real quick, because I've just got it attached to a little S-pod, so you can manually operate that. So it's a nice little setup.
Yeah, awesome. Pretty high-tech stuff on the back there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And then you just got to do those little infills later with lights.
Yeah.
Thinking about?
Yeah, definitely. And then I've got the rock lights underneath, but.
Whereabouts are they?
So they're actually behind the front tire and then in front of the rear tire. Okay. And they're just little KC Cyclones. But honestly, I use them just more for camp lights, to have that ground camp light. It's pretty nice to have
for
those.
photos?
Yeah. Right? They make good for good night shots.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's what most people use them for.
Right.
Communications. Which one's your comms? Is it that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have, it's a Yaesu 7900 ham radio, UHF radio, and I got my ham license a couple of years ago, and that's just the best way to communicate.
You need a license for these?
You do. You gotta
Even the handheld?
Yeah, anytime you want to use ham radio out here, you gotta have, or VHF, you gotta have a license to do that, and it's just nice. It makes communication so much better when you're out on the trail. I ran CB forever. I still have a hardwired CB, but I just don't have it hooked up anymore because it's just not worth it. I carry a handheld just in case somebody I'm with only has CB, or they don't have their license. But I think ham is the way to go.
We've been using some on the tracks we did yesterday and the day before since we've been here, and I find the range is pretty damn good, eh?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I can reach out and talk to somebody for 3 or 4 miles, but what's great is we've got repeaters all over in the U.S. And I talked to somebody. I was meeting up with them in Arizona, and we were talking off a repeater, and we were 80 miles away. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
What height are we at here? Knee height?
Right? Yeah. So she's 4.5 inches tall, and I've got full Icon suspension that I just upgraded about a month ago, and we did a coilover in the front, which is new to me. It's been a nice upgrade, and so the coilover. I mean, coilovers are really for like desert racing, but it allows you to get a lot more down travel, which is really nice. And plus they're adjustable reservoirs, which I didn't have before, so things were a little stuffed. So now I can kind of dial it in, which is...
So when you went coilover, did you adjust the tower?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's adjustable. You can go, I think it's 4.5 to 6 inches tall.
Okay.
I've got it set at 4.5 just because the rear is 4.5. But I've been super happy with the coilover upgrade. It's made a huge difference.
You got heavier springs in the rear?
Yeah, so still going a coil and shock in the rear, because if they say if you're going to be heavy or if you're going to do any towing, that a coilover in the rear is not the way to go. Okay. So I've got an adjustable Icon shock back there with a pretty stiff coil, and I keep things. I mean, I'm heavy in the back. She's kind of fat, so we upgraded all the control arms. So that's all.
Yeah, there's a lot of shiny parts under there.
Yeah, it's all pretty new. Everything's been upgraded recently, but it's already scratched up, you can see. Yeah. And then I did all the steering, drag link, tie rod. It's all been upgraded to, we were using some Yeti steer smarts. That stuff's, it's so beefy. It's rock solid stuff.
Are you still using the Rubicon auto disconnect on
I
the
am.
sway bar?
Yeah, it works pretty good. You know, if you're going to be on like a long trip like the Mojave Road, where you know you're going to be doing over 20, 25 miles an hour on those corrugated roads for a long time, it's good to do the manual disconnect, because this will reconnect if you're over 17 miles an hour.
Ah, so can you manual disconnect and auto disconnect?
Yeah, you can do the manual like you would normally, just pop them up.
Just pop the bolts off?
Yeah, super easy. And we also did the hydraulic bump stop upgrade, and I gotta say, what a world of difference when you hit it hard, and it's so much nicer. Yeah.
We'd done a modified on a Jeep in Adelaide, Australia, and he went for the hydraulic bump stops, and he was hitting stuff real hard, and I was expecting to have spinal surgery afterwards, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hydraulic bump stops, yeah.
Yeah, this setup with the weight that I'm carrying, I can't tell you how happy. I mean, this is my 3rd iteration of suspension since I got the Jeep, so yeah.
So 3rd time, you're happy with this now?
Definitely happy with this.
What did you have before?
So I started out with just a budget boost, you know, where you just throw the pucks in between the springs, and that was okay, you know, but as we progressed, I upgraded to a 3.5-inch lift, but then it started to be kind of a Frankenstein lift, because I'd swap parts out and swap shocks out, and so everything was just kind of mix matched, and it wasn't working well together. And so now just having it all dialed in for this setup, it's perfect.
The big donuts.
Yeah, these are the Cooper STT Pros in a 37 by 12.5, and these only have about 5,000 miles on them. Before this, I had the BFGs in a 37, the all-terrains, and those were a great tire. I mean, you cannot fault those tires, except when
the KO2?
The KO2, yeah. I love those tires, because this is my daily driver, believe it or not. Yeah. And so on the road, those things are amazing, and out in the desert, they're awesome. There's been a few times where I wanted just a little more traction in the mud and on the rocks, and so that's why I actually went back to these, because I used to have these in a 35 a long while ago.
On the same?
On the same Jeep, yeah. And so when I decided, one of those, you know, I put almost 50,000 miles on the KO2s, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to a little more aggressive tread, so that's what we did, yeah.
So how many miles are you in on these?
About 5,000, yeah. They're holding up pretty well.
They're holding up pretty well for 5,000.
Yeah, and we've had them on some pretty gnarly rocks already, and no big chips, which is good, so, yeah.
So for someone like you who's done a lot of stuff with your Jeep, you do a lot of rock driving and all that,
yeah.
Do you also agree that a mud terrain, you get better grip on rocks?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you air down, like, and I'll use an example. We were in a trail, that trail I was talking about, the Die Trying. It was rocks and then mud and then rocks, and so when you come off the rock and you hit that mud,
Yeah.
you need to be able to shed that before you go back on. Otherwise, you're just going to be
Otherwise
slipping.
you got slicks.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's important to have a good aggressive tread if you're going to be doing some real stuff. Yeah.
Beadlocks.
Yeah, these are KMC Machete bead locks, and I honestly I was kind of hesitant to go to a bead lock, but they've been great. They're heavy, they're super heavy. They're about 41 pounds each, which is quite a bit. But I banged them up and they're holding up great, and it allows me to go really low in tire pressure if I need to, which is important.
How low do you go with these tires on rock stuff?
I mean, you can go down to 5 psi. I don't know what that is in bar, but I usually go about anywhere from 8 to 12, depending on what I'm doing.
We use PSI as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. It actually puts a lot of Americans like, what? You're using PSI?
Yeah. Yeah, but they're pretty banged up, but you know what? They're solid. The only challenge with bead locks is finding a tire shop that's willing to do them. It's kind of tough. You can't take them just to any old shop. So yeah.
So you never popped anything off the back at all?
No, I haven't had any issues. I've never. They've been great.
I noticed you've got a good extension on your brake line here.
Yeah, and that's because of the down travel of the coilovers. I'm going to find a way to kind of tighten those brake lines up so they're not so
exposed.
Yeah, not so exposed. I don't like the way that's set up now, but right now, I mean, I can full droop and there's no problem, so that's good.
Driveline. Now, every time we do a Jeep that's had a lot of evolution, there's always driveline to talk about, because the driveline's quite weak to run big tyres like this.
Yeah.
And my dad's broken a lot in his driveline.
Yeah.
But so have I. So, what have we, is it Dana 40?
So these are the Dana 44 axles, and I've got the electronic lockers front and rear. And then we've got Adams 1350 drive shafts connecting to them. And I went with the 1350s just because they're so strong. And I've been out on the trail way too many times with people, busting drive shafts and everything. So, no, the knuckle's the same, but the ball joints are upgraded. And then I've got C-gussets welded on there. So that gives a little bit of reinforcement.
You got those skid pans right under there too?
Transfer case and the oil pan. And then if you look under there, the stock Rubicon, like fuel tank skid pans and all those they probably need a little bit of an upgrade. They're pretty jacked up.
So you've got your stock fuel tanks on here?
Yeah, stock fuel tanks. I don't know that I've ever needed more gas, although...
That's a cool question to actually ask you, because I've had a few Americans comment by email and stuff, asking me stuff, and they're like, oh, why you have long range tanks?
Yeah.
Because they can't get them here.
Right.
But you guys don't need them.
There's a couple companies, I think Genrite makes an extended tank you can put on there. But honestly, I mean, like the trip we did here, it was, we did a few hundred miles, but there's plenty of places where you can get fuel all on the way. And so, we're all over the place all the time, and I've never been in a situation where, well, I shouldn't say never, but we've always been okay, so.
And you always got Jerry's anyway if you need them?
If we need them. If I know I'm going to go somewhere, I'll bring them, but normally I don't even bring them, so,
okay.
Yeah.
Under the hood. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there we go.
She's a little dirty.
Gets used.
Yeah, a little dirty. I'm kind of a fan of just keeping things pretty stock for reliability purposes, and that way if you need parts or something, it's pretty easy just to keep it standard. So
if you kept the engine stock,
Yeah.
you would have changed your diff ratio then for the tyres?
Yeah, so I've got 488 gears down there, and that made a big difference going with these bigger tires. But the Rubicon does come with 410 gears, which isn't terrible.
Does it?
Yeah. So it's not bad.
So what about the Jeep Limited or Unlimited? Do they come?
So the non-Rubicon versions, I think it's a 355 or a 373 option.
That makes sense. Then.
Yeah. So
all right.
Not bad.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
2 batteries.
No, I'm only running one
Yeah.
battery here, yeah.
Is there one battery in the back?
No, that's it. That's all
Okay.
I'm running. And you know, it works. I mean, people have asked me, are you going to upgrade to dual battery because of the fridge and stuff? But I mean, like you, I'm constantly on the move.
Yeah.
And so it's rare that I stay in one place for a long period of time. But if I do, I've got one of those Goal Zeros that I can just, the Goal Zero portable batteries that I can plug my fridge into with a solar panel.
How many amp hours is that one?
It's got 33 amp hours, so that lasts a bit, and especially when you hook up the solar panel. It'll run the fridge for a long time as long as the sun's good. So,
Yeah, okay. So do you actually remove the fridge from the Jeep there?
No, it's just got a little 12 volt that plugs right into it. So
Okay.
yeah, it all
Cool.
works out good. And you'll see the new fridge can't come out anymore anyway. So
Okay. You are struggling for real estate anyway in here.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got the dual S-Pod over here. You know, I love the S-Pod system just because it keeps everything so clean and sleek. And
Yes. What are they?
the S-Pod, so that's your controllers for all the lights and your accessories.
Oh, okay.
And it makes wiring so clean and simple, and then all the everything comes right to your controllers. So yeah.
Okay. How often do you find you have to change the battery?
It's only my Jeep's a little over 4 years old. That's only the second battery. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm surprised.
Goes all right then?
Yeah, I mean, really with everything I'm running, I really thought at this point I'd be having battery problems, but I haven't.
No raised air intake or snorkel.
No.
Do you go through much water?
Not much, but there's been a couple times. But you just take your time and go slow.
Yeah.
But we try not to do a whole lot of crossings
You
here.
do have a pretty deep
It's
wading.
pretty deep, and it helps being this high with these bigger tires. So
Yeah. You haven't found a need to upgrade the radiator or
no,
anything?
I haven't had overheating problems. Some guys will have problems with transmission temps, and they'll add an extra cooler, but I haven't had that problem. So
A reliable Jeep.
it is. It is. I got 88,000 miles on it. She's trucking along tonight.
So we're about to check out the rear of the Jeep.
So this is all
DIY.
pretty new. Yep.
I love DIY.
Yeah, my good friend Marco and I, we got a lot of man hours into building this, but it was such a fun project to build. And I wanted to do something different than everybody else kind of does,
The aluminium frame here.
Yeah, it's
And bamboo.
Yeah, bamboo, because I wanted to match the bamboo tailgate table, so I thought it was kind of a unique way to do that.
Let's check the table out first.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great table. Makes it real easy. I put my stove on there, food
Nice.
prep, all that. I use this all the time. Even when I'm not cooking, if I'm just working in the garage, I'm using this thing all the time. So that's why we went with the bamboo. Aluminum profile is called T-slot, and I had never worked with it before. And so it was a big learning curve. And we've probably got, we probably spent 5 full days working on this because there's no blueprints for it. It was just like an idea that was in my head.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to do. People ask me, Brad, you're not running a fridge? And well, I am. This is my fridge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when the guys did the vinyl wrap on the Jeep, I was telling them that I don't like the way the black contrast. They're like, well, you're at the right place. And so they took a picture of the bamboo and they made this.
That's
they made that
awesome.
vinyl to cover it up, and so it's perfect. It just makes a good look. And they've been doing drawer fridges in RVs and boats for a long time. I was like, well, we can find a way to do that in the back of the Jeep, so it works. It's great.
That's
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
Let's check out the other drawers.
Yeah, for sure. My original thought was to do tools and recovery here in the bottom one, because that way when I'm prepping food and stuff, I don't need to access this drawer.
course.
And we reinforced this drawer with 2-inch on the bottom and did some extra stuff. So I've got a lot of weight in here. So I've got all my tools, recovery, jack, air up stuff. Yeah, and so all my shackles, everything
Very
I
nice.
need. A couple spare parts in there. Works out pretty good. Just got camping gear, so just the stuff you need at camp. Your supply, pots and pans, and of course I got to have coffee. Lots of coffee, little shovel, just the stuff that I would normally have in a camping box.
Yeah.
Now I can just have it in here full time. It's not a big deal. Works out pretty well.
You guys are big paper towels here, I noticed.
Yeah. I always gotta have paper towels. I'm always making a mess.
And this is your compact.
Yeah, so in
Stove.
here is all my pots and pans and cups. It's all big in there. That's just a little, it's from my hiking days. I used to do a lot of backpacking. So I still have, I think it's a pretty good transition if you're a backpacker trying to keep things small. doing that in the Jeep is pretty easy to do.
And you already understand the keeping the weight down as well.
Yeah. You know, you realize, I don't really need all that stuff. And so it was tempting when I put these drawers together because I have a lot of space, and I was like, I don't really need to fill these up, you know, just because I have the space. So, and then this one is just for dry foods. And so just breads and soups and stuff.
That's a decent
spices.
size drawer for food.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even full, but this is for this dry food in the fridge is for a week-long trip that we're on. So it's plenty for what we need.
So I'm just looking through because you guys have all different styles.
Yeah.
And food.
Yeah.
Stag chili.
Yeah, just keeping it kind of simple for camp. I'm making some pastas and some soups and lots of sandwiches.
Yeah, nice.
I'm not a big fan of the rehydrated meals. You know, I like to eat some good food. And usually when I'm out with my buddy Marco, he's cooking up some serious chow. But he didn't make it. He went with another group on this trip. So, but the fridge is the drawer fridge. It's 29 liters, so it's a little smaller than normal fridges. But usually it's just me by myself or me and my son, and it's plenty big enough for what we need.
Is this your airing system?
Yeah, so I carry a CO2 tank, and it makes filling up those 37-inch tires. I mean, I can fill up one tire in like 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's super fast.
From like 5 PSI?
Oh yeah, all the way up. It's great. You know, the only downfall when you're doing an overland trip is you only get about 4 full fills, you know. And so I do have an air compressor. If I know I'm going to be going for a long week, then that's what I'll do. But if you know, usually it's just a 3 or 4 day trip, and that's what I'll take as a CO2.
This is something that we Aussies have not seen. Well, we've seen it online, and I've had a few comments saying, "Oh, why don't y'all just use a
Y'all
use a CO2 tank?" Or,
Yeah.
How much does it cost to get these refilled?
You can go to like a beverage shop, and they'll usually do it for about $20, $25. So it's not terrible.
So it's like the same as you use for SodaStream.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I mean, there's the downfalls, right? I mean, you have to get it refilled, and you've got the anxiety of if you're going to go on a long trip, am I going to have enough CO2?
Okay.
But I love being able to just, you know, when you come off the trail, you just fill up quick and you go. You don't have to, you know, you're not spending, 10 minutes filling up your tires.
Nice. Some power boards in here. And got some switches here?
Yeah, the switch is just for a little do-it-yourself project we did for some lighting. So we've got some LED track lights that we installed up here. And that's just a little switch. You can dim them and brighten them.
I'll let you switch them on.
Yeah. So you can see there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, these are just little eBay lights that we just soldered together. Makes it real nice.
And it's not too much light.
No, but you can dim it. There's a dimmer on that little switch. Yeah, so you can brighten it up if you want to.
Yeah, up and down.
Yeah, that's perfect.
This thing out.
Oh, that's just a little 67 Designs mag light, and it's on a little suction cup on the window, and you can adjust the arm so you can put that wherever you want. Pretty nice.
Yeah, cool. Similar to like a ram mount kind of bits there. Right, and so you just keep some other stuff down here.
I keep my first aid kit handy, keep the fire extinguisher handy. So.
And you still got space up here too?
Well, and so that's what I wanted when we designed this, is I wanted to keep it below the back seat so I could see out the back. Now I'm going to put some track on here just to have the option to like tie some stuff down if I want to, but normally this is how I'm going to run with just clear visibility in the rear.
There's a lot going on in here.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a little bit of a cockpit, but it's functional. I actually haven't made a lot of changes in the last year. You know, it's always trying to put things where you want them, and I got it dialed in pretty good. So,
one thing that's really intriguing me is this bar going across attachments. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a company called Vector Off-Road, and it's just 3 screws that go into stock mounting points, so you don't have to do any drilling. And it allows you to, I mean, you can see the flexibility it gives you to just mount stuff anywhere you want, which works for you. It's a great little setup.
I bet it's helping with content creation too, eh?
Yeah.
Just being able to mount anything anywhere, like where the GoPro is now.
Exactly.
That is seriously cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off here. You have a spot number, is this a spot X?
X, yeah. So that came out last year, and the spot, is just basically a position sensor so people could see where you're at. But that allows me, when I'm off grid, to send messages to and from my wife through text, through GPS, it's nice.
Does it cost much when you?
It was like $350 for the plan up front, and then it's unlimited use.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's I mean, people got to understand it's not like using your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all monochrome screen, and when you're texting, it's the
Yeah, you
fat
gotta-
numbers, and so it's tough, but it's perfect for, you know, if she needs to reach me or I got to reach her. So
Okay. At least you have the QWERTY
yeah,
keyboard.
exactly.
You know, like pressing one couple of times to get C.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah, it works good, and it's nice to have the emergency backup if you need it. So
dash cam, and this is
it's an iPad Mini.
Yep.
And that's what I run all my navigation on.
Yep.
So the dash cam is something I never thought I would even have or want, but my wife got it for me for Christmas. And so that's the Owl dash cam. And I've come to really like the thing. It's pretty cool because you can say, okay, presto, and you decided it. And now it's whatever it was recording or the last 20 seconds, it'll send you that clip on your phone, which is pretty cool. So if we're out on the trail or if I'm on the road and something interesting happened, you just say that and it sends it to you on your phone, which is pretty cool. But the other cool thing, which
okay, presto.
Oh no, it didn't work.
Does like Aussie accent.
Yeah. The other cool thing though is it's got a forward camera and an internal camera, and so if you bump the Jeep in any way or you open the door, it automatically starts filming.
Okay.
And so if somebody breaks into your Jeep, I get a notification on my phone that there was a bump. And so like if my wife drives the Jeep and she gets in, I'll get a notification that she's in the Jeep and I can actually see her live. It's kind of cool. I never thought I would like a dash cam, but it's been pretty interesting, little cool thing. And then the iPad Mini, I'm running the Gaia apps, which is what we use for all our navigation, works well for all our GPX files and everything. And I like the Mini, it's just a good size.
You got a handheld?
Yeah, I got a handheld. You know, I like having a handheld because, like you, I'm filming a lot, and so we'll hop out of the Jeep, and that way I can talk to the convoy, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Plus, you know, it never fails that somebody needs a radio or somebody's radio doesn't work, and so you can always hand that off. And then, then my Yaesu handheld mounts right underneath it, which is a cool little design. So, yeah.
I think everyone should have a handheld because people jump out of the car to do something, and you don't know what they're doing. They can't hear you.
Yeah.
It's pretty handy that way as well.
Yeah, especially if you're spotting too, that helps as well.
Yeah. You got some cool switches up here.
Yeah, so that's the S-Pod. So that's you saw there was two S-Pod modules.
Yeah.
So this is for one of them, and then the other one is here. And this one is pretty much just for that rear light bar that we talked about, just because it's got so many functions on it. So
the buttons, I know.
Yeah, those are buttons, and they all light up at night. And then these are just for the light bars and the rock lights and air compressor and all that
We didn't
stuff.
see the grenade launcher or the rocket launcher.
No, but you are on the passenger ejection switch, so. Yeah.
I better behave then. Bit of a patch collection here. So these are states you've been to?
Yeah, so just the trails that the Jeep has been to, you know, Colorado, Utah.
Mexico?
We go down to Baja all the time, which is fun, and we go part of the Baja 1000 trails and been down there, so it's fun. Yeah, so I just like to kind of keep a record of it. Colorado. Yeah.
Colorado. What's this one?
That's New Mexico. So.
Oh, okay. You're a serviceman?
Yeah, I was in the Navy for 26 years as a corpsman, and you know, people that serve in the military and first responders just have a special place in my heart, and so that's kind of what that is for me. This is duty stations that I was at, people that I've served with that give me patches, and first responders that I've worked with, you know, being a corpsman in the medical field.
Yeah.
And then people have seen that and just kind of started sending patches, which is cool. I love the patches up there, but this has a lot of meaning to me, and it's, yeah.
That's quite a collection too.
Yeah, thank you.
All Rubicon.
All Rubicon stuff.
Where's your sway bar disconnect?
So that's over here on the left. So
Okay.
the button for the sway bar disconnect and my to lock my axles is right over here as well. Yep.
You got your Fahrenheit and your AC.
Yeah.
That's really confusing, those numbers. That's pretty hot, mate.
Yeah.
You can cook a steak at 52 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Well, thankfully not. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go to the back here then. You got that's where your water storage is on the bottom here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess back there because we're on this trip, but it's working for me. You know, I got all my camera gear back there, and but yeah, I keep about 5 gallons of water back there on the floor. So.
Okay, I'll do the conversion. Fire extinguisher on that side.
Yep.
I'll need your speakers, which is standard.
Yeah, the speakers are standard. Yeah.
You got room for another patch collection back there?
Yeah, for sure. And these aren't standard on the Jeep. These are a Mopar headliner. And when you're out in the desert, the heat just comes through there quite a
so
bit.
it serves two purposes.
So this really helps keep the heat out.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Oh, the seats.
Oh yeah, we got to
These are
talk about the
cool.
seats. Yeah, so these are the stock seats, but I've just reupholstered them. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So this is a company called leatherseats.com, and you can order. It's really cool. You can order for any vehicle, any color, any stitching pattern, and you basically take the old upholstery off and just put this on. And I'm not an upholstery guy. I didn't know anything about it, but I was like, I can figure this out, and I did it in a weekend. It was a great project, a great,
Would
easy
have been hard to put it on, yeah? Like
it was-
really tight?
No, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, you got to pull and stretch and tug, and probably the headrests were the worst, but it's...
So you're enough to hold on to,
Yeah, but honestly, this is a really easy do-it-yourself project.
Yeah, and the back seats as well.
Yeah, the back seats too, yeah. And I like it, because, it brings the silver out from inside the Jeep. I think it looks kind of neat. Gives a little personality in here, so...
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah,
Awesome Jeep.
thank you.
Q&A. No beers today. I had a rough night last night. Should get our waters out, really. So I've got some questions. I'm going to change it up a bit because you're a creator as well.
Okay.
But I will get the generic ones out of the way first.
All right.
So with your Jeep,
Yep.
why Jeep?
Oh, man.
Sprang that one on him.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the Jeep, and I love the fact that, right out of the box, the Rubicon, solid axles, lockers, and we could just go wherever we wanted. I mean, seriously, before I started doing all the craziness with the Jeep, for the first 6 months, we didn't really do much, and we went some amazing trails. The Jeep is really it's capable right out of the box. Not to say that there aren't other capable vehicles, but
Yeah.
the Jeep's pretty solid.
Yeah, but it's actually built for...
It's built to go hit a trail, and get a little flexy and have a little fun, and you're not going to break anything, so most of the time.
You hope not. The next question will be your top 3 mods on your vehicle. Your favorite ones.
Yeah, they're probably like my recent things that I've done, just because I've been so happy with them, and so the suspension has it's been night and day since what I had before. I mean,
You're including the bump stops and all that.
everything.
Bump stops.
Yeah, the coilovers in the front, everything is just. I mean, I'm even just driving on the freeway now. Where you hit a bump in the road, and before it would feel unsettled. Now it's just so nice.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I can tell you like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So I'm very happy with the suspension.
Yeah.
The rooftop tent I love because it's just so easy to open and close. And the other one's going to sound a little weird, but it's been my favorite for a long time, and that's actually my phone mount because I use my phone.
okay.
So that's little 67 Designs phone mount.
Oh, the whole thing, the whole rail. Yeah,
Well,
it's pretty
the
cool.
vector bar, but then my phone mount. I have had some variations of the phone mounts, and
Oh, you tell me, yeah.
I love that thing.
the
You just slide
the
it in there.
67 one.
Yeah. So I know it's a little thing, but sometimes it's the little things like that that really make things nice. So
Worst thing about your Jeep?
the worst thing about my Jeep is that I'm probably overweight and it doesn't hold at all. So, I need to find ways to go on a diet but still carry what I carry and be durable on the trail. I think that's where the Jeep Gladiator has a lot of potential. Even though it's a longer wheelbase, you can carry more weight. It's tough to be an overlander
It's
in
a
a
common
Jeep.
issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a common issue amongst all vehicles.
Right.
Too heavy.
Yeah.
Best thing?
The best thing is I can go just about anywhere I want, honestly. That's what I love about how we've built this. I mean, we do week-long, trips and camp out of it and live out of it, or we'll go do a day trip and hit just some hard, crazy
stuff.
trails. And I just love to be able to do both of those things, and it's fun to be able to do it in the Jeep. So
Like the die trying from a desert crossing.
that
you did
die
on the way
trying
here.
trail was no joke.
So let's talk about your channel a bit now.
Yeah.
Trailrecon. So what made you start, or how did it happen?
It's an interesting story because I didn't like wake up one morning and be like, I want to do YouTube videos, you know.
It doesn't work when you do that though.
No, I don't think so. My son and I, when we first went out in the Jeep, he was in the passenger seat filming on his phone. And by the time we got home, he had edited a little video together on his phone. And I was like, wow, that's really cool that you did that. Let's do that every time we go out, just kind of have a video journal of our adventures. Not thinking YouTube. Well, we did that a couple times, and we just posted them on our family YouTube channel that we had. It had some other stuff on there. And people were watching them, and they were asking where we went, how was the trail, would their vehicle make it? And so that kind of got us thinking a little bit like, okay, well, let's try to make a better video because there's people watching it, which, 50 people at the time was watching it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But let's see if we can give them some information about where we were. And so then it just escalated then from there. People would ask me, how did you install the winch? Or who was that other person you were with? Or how did you do this? And so, yeah, then it just kind of grew from there. It's been fun. I love creating videos and sharing everything with folks. It's fun,
Yeah, it is, yeah. Especially the feedback you get when, So what's next for Trailrecon?
Oh man, we're busy, like you. We've got a lot of trips coming. We're gonna go up to Oregon. We're coming back to Arizona for another trip. We're gonna spend a week going into Colorado. We're gonna go back to Moab. Got a lot of trips planned. I've done a lot of work on the Jeep, so I don't know how many projects we're going to do in the next couple of months, but I'm sure there'll be something that'll come up. A lot happening, but I want to get out and meet with more creators like we're doing right now. I think that's where a lot of
collaborations. It's fun as well.
Yeah, it is fun.
So much more fun.
Yeah, today's been great, man.
And people love watching it too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like just the collaborations.
Yeah.
So what are the best 3 trails or tracks? We usually call them tracks. You guys call them trails.
Yeah, trails.
What are the 3 best ones in your opinion? Most fun for you?
Most fun for me. Okay, well, I'm gonna go generic, and I'm gonna say the Rubicon Trail.
Which state is that in?
That's in California. It's Northern California. So it's 13 miles, and it's you can do it in 2 days. 3 days is the best way to do it, but it's a lot of rock crawling and just beautiful scenery.
How long is it?
13 miles.
13 miles and how many days?
But you can do it in 2 days, but it's better done in 3.
2 days. 13 miles in 2 days.
Yeah. But it's so beautiful up there.
Okay.
You're up in the mountains like this kind of, but you're testing your vehicle.
Okay.
So that's probably one of them. Elephant Hill Trail in Moab it's not a very well-known trail, but it's my favorite trail out there. It's about 45 minutes south of Moab, and you've got to get a permit, and you can only have 3 vehicles at a time in a group.
Oh, cool.
But the trail is just, you wind through these mountains, and there's some technical spots, but you get out in this area, and there's just these beautiful rock formations, and you can hike out there, and I love that one. And then probably Imogene Pass in Colorado. It's not a hard trail, but there's just old mines everywhere.
Up in the mountains?
Yeah, it's up in the mountains. You're like at 12,000 foot elevation.
12,000?
Oh, it's way up there.
Far out.
But it's beautiful. Colorado's an amazing place to wheel. So.
How do you handle the elevation at 12,000? You get pretty tired, eh?
I don't mind it so much. The Jeep, you notice, is the elevation though. It's a little. When you start getting up there, you can kind of feel it a little bit.
So you really notice that in the vehicles?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out,
Yeah.
and we'll hang out at the Expo West.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. So we've got another video coming.
Yep.
So that'll be somewhere on the screen. I'll link it to there. And you can subscribe to Trailrecon right in the middle of us here. You can subscribe to my channel here. And if you feel like it, patreon.com/Ronnie Dahl, and that helps me get around the world to do videos like this.
Thanks, man.
You got a meeting to go to? A meet and greet?
We got a meet and greet. Yep.
I need to go home I need to go back to the house and dump all this footage and some cards. Oh, I'm busy.
Yeah.
So, see you guys.
Take care.